There is a very good chance you are literally paying Meta to train your ideal prospects to ignore you. I mean, just think about it. Your best B2B buyers don't open up Facebook or Instagram because they want to purchase a software or book a consulting call. They open up the app while they are waiting in line for their coffee at a Starbucks, and they just want to kill time with something. So, if you are the kind of founder who is constantly hitting the refresh on your ads manager and watching your budget slowly bleed out while your calendar completely stays empty, it's probably because you are running a highly polished, expensive looking corporate ad set. You are basically trying to force corporate handshake in a place where people just want to turn off their brains. But today we are going to flip that dynamic. Grab your coffee because I'm going to walk you through the context mismatch strategy. We are going to learn how to use an intentionally ugly 3-second hook as your Trojan Horse. Because we are going to hijack their casual scrolling time and pull off a seamless hard pivot right into your high-ticket pitch before they even realize what hit them. And look, if you just keep ignoring this and keep tossing money at those overproduced corporate ads, people are just going to keep tuning them out, and you will keep burning cash with absolutely zero booked calls to show for it. And for a little bit of context, I'm Peter Fisabolc and I run Ads and Leads. And before we even think about turning on a camera, we have to understand what goes through someone's brain when they open up Facebook or Instagram. Because nailing this concept is the difference between hooking high-ticket calls for basically pennies or burning hundreds of dollars a day just to get a few accidental clicks. And there is a specific biological reason why your prospect's brain actively rejects polished business videos. And once you understand how to bypass it, you will realize that looking completely unprofessional is actually your biggest competitive advantage. And here's the core problem. You are treating Meta like it's Google. When a CEO goes to Google, they have high intent. They are hunting for a solution. But when they open up Facebook or Instagram, they are doing the exact opposite. They are actively hiding from work and they just want cheap dopamine. Think about the cost of ignoring this fact. If your video pops up on their feed and the very first thing they see is a slick logo animation, perfectly balanced studio lighting, or someone in a tailored shirt asking them, "Are you looking to scale your B2B enterprise?" what actually happens? Their brain immediately flags it as threat to their downtime. Their internal alarm screams, "This is a sales pitch." They scroll right past it before you even finish your first sentence, and your ad budget quietly evaporates. And the mechanical fix here isn't buying a better camera or writing punchier corporate scripts. It's the exact opposite. You have to completely strip away the production value. You must camouflage your video so it visually matches the organic, slightly messy everyday content they are actually looking for. And by intentionally making your videos look less professional, you confuse their mental ad blocker and you successfully steal those crucial first 3 seconds of their downtime. But grabbing the attention is completely worthless if your video feels staged the moment you open your mouth. Which brings us to the actual mechanics of shooting your Trojan Horse. So now you know exactly why we are ditching the fancy camera. And let's talk about the mechanics of building this Trojan Horse hook. Because getting this right is the only way to seamlessly camouflage your ad right into their feed like video from a friend. But here's a massive trap. Because there is a very dangerous line between looking native to the platform and just looking like a cheap internet scam. And here's where most founders completely mess up. They try to fake being casual, but they just can't let go of their corporate ego. So they hold an iPhone, but they are still using a ring light, standing perfectly still in their office and reading off an invisible teleprompter. And look, if you do this, the penalty is brutal. Prospects smell inauthenticity instantly. And if they feel like they've been tricked into a cold call that's poorly disguised as an Instagram story, they don't just scroll right past it. They get actively annoyed at your brand, and your ad spend goes up in flames. And the fix is actually quite simple. You have to force imperfection. No tripods, no studio lighting. You need to start recording mid-sentence or mid-movement. Film yourself walking down the street with a cup of coffee, or right as you are shutting your car door. Your opening line shouldn't be, "Hello, today I will teach you 3 ways to..." No. It needs to have the exact raw, unfiltered energy of, "Hey, I just talked to a client about this and I had to record this before I forgot." By embracing that raw, slightly shaky, mid-thought energy, you completely disarm their defenses and you successfully buy yourself 10 to 15 seconds of pure, undivided attention from high net worth buyers who actually think they are watching just a normal update. But that brings us to the final and most dangerous problem. You have their attention, but how do you actually hard pivot into high-ticket B2B pitch without making them feel like they've been completely lied to? So here we are. You successfully hijacked their feed. They think that you are just sharing an organic thought on your way to grab lunch. And here comes the make or break moment, the hard pivot. Mastering this single transition is what allows you to turn a casual stroller into a highly qualified, high-ticket prospect without triggering their defense mechanism. But how do you cross that bridge without them noticing it? And here's a trap. The natural instinct for most founders is to suddenly drop the casual act, clear their throat, and launch right back into a stiff sales pitch. And if you do that, you trigger a massive bait and switch reaction. They feel lied to, they simply swipe away angrily, and you completely wasted the hardest part of your ad, earning the initial trust. So here's how you can achieve this. You do not change your tone, you do not change the camera angle, you simply change the stakes. You take that casual mid-walk realization and tie it directly into the exact business bottleneck they are struggling with right now. And you use a pivot phrase like, "And it made me realize." This is the exact same reason your B2B sales cycle is taking 6 months to close. You keep this raw, unpolished energy, but you suddenly hit them with hyper-specific, severe business pain point. Because you didn't change the visual format or suddenly sound like a commercial, their brain completely misses the transition. It doesn't register as a pitch at all. It registers as a high-value, organic epiphany. Suddenly you have a captive B2B buyer who's fully engaged and leaning in to hear exactly how you solve their biggest problem. And this perfectly accomplishes the last step, getting them off their newsfeed and directly onto your sales calendar. So, when you put all of this together, understanding their brain state, shooting that raw Trojan Horse hook, and nailing that bridge without skipping a beat, you completely get rid of their ad blindness. You stop throwing money at traditional B2B marketing machines and start weaponizing the human psychology. Just picture your pipeline when you stop forcing the corporate handshake in a place where people just want to turn off their brains. Instead of watching your ad spend evaporate while you cross your fingers for a single lead, you are waking up to a calendar completely booked out with qualified high-ticket buyers who actually listened to your pitch. And this is exactly what we can do for you. At Ads and Leads, we don't just tweak campaigns. We come in and install this exact acquisition framework directly into your business, turning that casual scrolling time into predictable, high-ticket, closed deals. So, if you are done wasting money on polished corporate masterpieces that nobody watches, then feel free to click the link in the description and book a call with my team and me. And don't spend another $1 on a slick corporate video that just gets ignored. So, click the link below, grab a time, and let's turn that casual scrolling time into actual revenue for your business.